What's going on? I am out here in Wisconsin on the Ice Age Trail, and I had a couple of people ask about doing a gear review for the Hemlock Mountain Outdoors tarps. So I figured this is a good time to do it. I got it set up, and it just has withstood a little bit of a rainstorm. So what I've got here is the Hemlock Mountain Outdoors Ulrect tarp. This is made with Dyneema composite fabric, and this one is 12 feet by, they're about 8.5. It's very similar in design to the Hemlock Mountain Outdoors 09 tarps, the 1009, 1109, 1209. The difference is those are made from silpoly, but other than that, it's the same design. So what I'm talking about with this also pertains to those other than the fabric. So the Dyneema is 0.51 ounce Dyneema, so super light. This one weighs the 12 foot with the cordage and the stuff sack, I think is 9.9 ounces. It's just under 10 ounces, so it's super light. The trade-off there between sil poly or sil nylon and Dyneema is yeah, sure, this is lighter and it absorbs absolutely zero moisture, but it doesn't compress as well, so it takes up a little more room in the backpack, but who cares? As far as that goes, if you're looking to save weight, you probably have a little bit extra space anyway. All of them have right, so 4 corner tieouts, 2 ridgeline tieouts, and then 3 side tieouts. So one like in what like the quarter position, half position, 3/4 position, and then the corners. So it's the same all the way around. This is set up to use a continuous ridgeline. I do also make them with an attached ridgeline. So instead of going from the D-ring to some kind of suspension going from the trees or some kind of ridgeline, it would go right from the hammock. There'd be an adjuster, it'd be like a hook adjuster here that would go to the tree itself, and then the tarp would create the ridgeline with the actual ridge of the tarp itself. With the attached ridgeline, you'd also get the same thing on the 4 corners, and then on the 3 side pullouts on each side, you'd get the D-rings like this. So as you can see, Dyneema is a little bit see-through, so you can see my hammock in there. This is my 11-foot coyote pack, and I've got, it's not quite exactly center, but actually it's pretty close. I've still got probably 1.5 feet, 2 feet of space underneath that tarp to move the hammock side to side if it's not centered. And then you can use the sides as doors like I've got here because of the recent rain. And when I'm like this, I stay nice and dry. I bring the tarp down a little bit or bring the hammock up. It helps block the wind. A lot of times I like to have it flat on the back, and then on the front side I would have this up. I'll show a picture of how I have it. I call it porch mode. I bring it up with the center, and then the corners would come down a little bit to help block the wind or give a little privacy or whatever. But they're so wide that unless you've got a lot of wind, it's going to keep you dry even if it's raining. Now, the past 2 days here, a rainstorm just went by. Thank God it wasn't as bad as they said it might be. But last night, it was high wind, high wind, and pouring rain. And I mean, the tarp got beat up a little bit. It got thrown around. The wind was like somebody was leaning on it, and it kept pulling the cords out. But the tarp was, other than that, it was fine. So they'll withstand a lot. I've had branches fall on my sil poly version, and I've been using that. Well, that's a sil nylon, but the sil poly version is it just doesn't stretch as much. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You can get this with, like I said, with the attached or the continuous ridge line, or you can just get it with the tarp itself. If you've already got your own suspension and you just want the D-rings and you don't want any cordage with it, you can get it like that too. And obviously it's cheaper without the cordage, and I offer a couple different cordage options too. So you can easily fit an 11-foot hammock in there with doors closed and still have room. When I'm like that, I put this, I use all the tie-outs just to keep the sides out as much as possible. And we'll go inside real quick, I'll show you. So I just leave something here where I can pull it back, shake off some of the water. Dyneema is very crinkly. And you can see, now when I get in the hammock, it'll sink down a little bit and give more room. But there's still plenty of room in there. One other thing with Dyneema to take into consideration is that it is see-through, or very opaque. So I wouldn't suggest changing in there if there's people around, because they're going to see all your bits and bobs, that's for sure. Yeah, it is very, very translucent. The cool thing about that is at night, if it's clear, I can see stars through this at night. Definitely can see the moon. You can see when it's getting light. You know, you can actually see. I can watch the sunrise. You're not going to see it real clear, but you can watch it. So it's got a lot of pros and cons, like anything else. Always keep in mind, ultralight means less durable. Doesn't pack down as well. It's a little crinkly, and it's more expensive. But yeah, so that's a look at the tarps. The silpoly version is the same thing, just with the silpoly instead of the Dyneema, so the price comes down on that, and then it's not see-through, and it's not as crinkly either. So all depends on what you're looking for. I brought this on this trip because I knew it was going to rain, and I wanted to not have to deal with a soaking wet tarp. I can just kind of shake that off. I got a pack towel. I can shake it down, get the standing water off of it, and just wipe it down, and it'll be dry. I don't have to let it sit out and dry if I don't want to. Silpoly does absorb a little bit of water, so it takes a little bit longer to dry. Yeah, I decided to go with this just because I knew it would rain. So I knew that would be a good option for this to bead the water off, and it's done a good job so far. So you guys let me know what you guys want to see next from Hemlock Mountain, and I'll do a video on that. I did the tarps, or not the tarps, I did the quilts last time. Now here's the tarps. Let me know what else you want to see a video about, and I'll put one up. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Check out Hemlock Mountain Outdoors. If you're looking for something custom, I do custom work too. So don't be afraid to ask. If I can't do it for you, the worst I can say is no, right? But I'm usually pretty adventurous at that. If there's something that somebody wants me to make, I'll at least give it a try. Hope you guys are out doing some fun stuff as the weather is getting better. I'll see you in the next.